admire him for something more, a belief in American future and a strong resolve to make America great again.
Yeah.
Love that guy. Hey, let's save the Chaz thing. We've got Hirsh Singh sitting right here. You got Springsteen, New Jersey. We didn't play Bon Jovi for a reason. You'll tell him why, Bernie. Let's go right to Mr. Singh.
And by the way, Mr. Singh, Hirsh Singh.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. Hirsh Singh is running in the Republican primary to run against Cory Booker in 2020.
Yep, U.S. Senate.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And Hirsh was at that rally. You just heard Prime Minister Modi from India. That was a rally that took place in Texas. What was it? What was the city in Texas?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas.
And President Trump was there. You had 50,000 Indian Americans from across the country.
You were there.
Yep, I was within the first 10 rows. That was amazing. You had 50,000 Indian Americans that were cheering at the top of their lungs for the President of the United States. I don't know why everyone doesn't know this already.
You know, and I covered it when it happened. Nobody else did. I covered it. I said you had 50,000 people of color cheering madly, wildly for this this supposed racist president of the United States, this anti-immigrant president of the United States, and nobody covered it. And I didn't even know you were there until you came in this morning, and which is why we played the clip there. But Hirsh Singh, you're a very impressive guy. Cory Booker is a disgrace. He's a liar. He claims that in my community where I come from, he ruined Newark. He pretends like he's from the hood. He's a privileged, rich kid, and he just lies about everything. We know what he did in the Brett Kavanaugh hearings. Deprived a guy of due process, got up and walked out like a little baby, and you want to take him out of office. Tell us why.
I mean, we got to take him out because they've just lost their minds, the Democrat Party, and it looks like Cory Booker's leading the way. He's at 1% of the polls, and he cares more about just this mockery of running for president than he does about taking care of our citizens. I don't know how many people are listening right now that are stuck in traffic. But this is a disgrace. You know, he's been in power for, a Democrat president. Now he's been in power with President Trump, one of the greatest presidents we've ever had. And I'd just like to stop for a second and say, if President Trump is a racist, he's the worst racist that has ever lived in the history of this country, because we have the lowest unemployment for every ethnic group in this country since the start of the country. And you also have the lowest unemployment for women. The overarching lowest unemployment, lower than 75 years ago. Yeah. It's insane, and we should be commending him, yet 93% of all the news coverage is just critical. You know what was an interesting tidbit, if I could add? If you go into, communist China or the USSR, or you go over into North Korea, all the media is constantly talking about how great their leader is, I think the more negative press our president is getting, that means he's that great of a president. So we need to not listen to the nonsense and say, look, the unemployment numbers are great, people are working, let's make this economy go in the right direction, let's help him. He needs one more seat in the Senate to pass the legislation he needs. He wants to do an infrastructure bill. We need the Gateway Tunnel between New York and New Jersey. We need to make sure that 20% of America's GDP, which passes through this conduit on a daily basis, is protected, is insulated, and expanded. So you there listening on the air aren't sitting in traffic in these dilapidated trains with these tracks which are falling apart. And, it should be clean. There's a homeless crisis. Why do you have to smell people defecating, in the trains? This is the horrible. Most wealthy nation, and this is the backbone of it. And we have this problem. It's tragic.
No, it is terrible. Hirsh Singh joining us in studio. But here's where I get frustrated. We yell and scream every day, Bernie and I, about Bill de Blasio being the worst mayor, but he keeps winning. Andrew Cuomo is a brutal governor. He keeps winning. In your state last year, in fact, Bernie and I were very big supporters of Bob Eugen.
Yep.
He ran against a guy that basically has committed, allegedly, but has committed child rape. I mean, he's basically Jeffrey Epstein.
And corruption, forget about it.
Yeah, and Menendez won. So we yell and scream about Cory Booker. He takes money from Wall Street. He's a liar. He's this, he's that. But he wins. I mean, the question is, when are people going to wake up and realize all these people they're voting for are bad people, or do they just don't care?
Well, actually, I think everyone cares, but there's something that has occurred. There's been a bit of a monopoly, because it's not Democrat versus, Republican, if you will. You have this huge population of people that have immigrated here legally, that are minorities first generation, and when they're young or when they first immigrate here, they're asking, hey, where do I get my news from? And they're taught in a lot of cases, go to CNN, go to MSNBC, go to the New York Times. That's the authority. And what do they do so well? They say Republican, racist. And they say, Democrats for immigrants, when the exact opposite is true. Everyone forgets history. The Democrat Party was founded with connections to the KKK.
Sure.
They were against desegregation.
Jim Crow.
Okay, that's all the Democrat Party. The Republican Party was founded by Abraham Lincoln to abolish slavery. The Republican Party was founded to make sure everyone has equal opportunity. But the Democrats, they've kind of converted it into opportunity, not equal opportunity, it's equal results. They want
the equality of results, not equality of opportunity,
exactly.
Which is all ass backwards. Hirsh Singh, he's in the studio with Bernie and Sid on WABC. He's a candidate for the U.S. Senate from New Jersey. He's going to run in the primary in June 2nd of 2020. And if he wins, he will run against that creep Cory Booker. And we were just talking before. I did a segment at the top of the hour about homelessness and crime, and how you have to vote if you want security, if you want law and order, you have to pull R. They're not going to take away a woman's right to an abortion or whatever. They'll just keep you safe, for God's sakes. And that's the thing about they don't tell you in the media that you just outlined that's what's at stake here. We're going to witness that in New York. In a couple of months when the new laws go into effect, no cash bail. New Jersey's similar. That has the same problem. Philadelphia is in bad shape, which is right on the border of Jersey. So we got to get this message out to elect guys like Hirsh Singh to the Senate.
I think that, my number one agenda is that law and order is essential for society to function. And if you go to San Francisco now, it's not the San Francisco I grew up with. And that's coming here. It's coming to New Jersey. It's coming to New York. And but the number one issue to break through across the Democrats is everyone hates their commute going into New York up here in North Jersey. Yeah. And I think that we need to make sure that we make it clear to people that, for example, New Jersey's spending about $140 billion a year in federal taxes to Washington, D.C., but it gets back about $98 billion in benefits. There's a over $40 billion deficit in federal tax, which isn't coming back. That $40 billion per year could fund the entire Gateway Tunnel, could fund like all the potholes, which are, riddled across like the infrastructure in New Jersey, that could help fix the Amtrak trains. And what you need is a U.S. senator who's going to not just try to resist the president, but actually go there to say what's in the best interest of the people. One of the big tragedies is when that tax law passed, which is great for the country, which is making our economy boom, the state and local tax deduction hurt New York and New Jersey very heavily. But you know what? All it would have taken is one senator from New Jersey or New York to say, you know what? I'm going to support your tax bill, but please get rid of the state and local tax deduction. They didn't do that. They just played the game of resist. They wanted this so they could just try and steal more money.
Sure. So the issue.
I think that when 2020 ends, we're going to retake the House, we're going to retake the presidency, and the key is, do we get one more Senate race? And the New Jersey Senate race is the sleeper race in the country because nobody in New Jersey likes Cory Booker.
Right,
nobody likes Cory Booker.
It's kind of like Bill de Blasio, partisan hate. Yeah. So my question to you then, Hirsh Singh, let me put it this way. You win the Republican candidacy. Congratulations, pal. Well done. You win it. You're a winner. Okay. So now we're going to put you up on stage. You're going to sit next to Cory Booker, maybe somewhere in Meadowlands or something. I don't know. FanDuel Sports, but perfect. And you're going to go head to head with Cory Booker. What will be the first thing you attack him on politically that he has not done for the state of New Jersey that you will get done? We got to localize this. What will you do for New Jersey that Cory Booker hasn't?
What I would do for New Jersey, or what I would say to him? If I was standing in front of him, I'd basically say, where have you been and what have you done for New Jersey? You've been in power with a Democrat president and a Republican president, but nothing has been achieved. His only legislation is the criminal justice legislation that was passed by President Trump. If this guy attacks President Trump 24/7, and when he first came into mayor, he was speaking sense. He was talking about school choice to make sure our children could have the best education, that they're not stuck in monopolies of abuse. But instead, now he's thrown everything that gave him any credibility out the door. He's the most extreme left wing. So if I was standing in front of him, I'd just be like, what happened to you?
Right.
What happened to you?
He left Newark in a shambles.
Yeah.
He went to Washington, and he's the biggest Wall Street whore in the Senate after Hillary left. She was the biggest one, and she left, and he now is. But I will say this, Hirsh Singh, Bob Hugin's mistake, one of his mistakes was he didn't really embrace the president as you apparently do. And I think that's a mistake on his part. But I do want to ask you, as we run out of time, Hirsh Singh, you're running for the Senate, the primary, Republican primary, to run against Cory Booker. But who are you? You are, first of all, the Asians are discriminated against. I know you have a degree in engineering, material science, and all that. But what are you doing now?
So for the last 12-plus years, I've been in the federal government contracting space. I've been blessed. My father actually started a company in our garage 25 years ago. And when I graduated with my engineering degree from the New Jersey Institute of Technology.
Your parents are Indian immigrants, by the way.
Yes, yeah, they came here from India. I was born here in Atlantic City. And if you look at... I was in Newark at NJIT when Booker became mayor. Okay, so I got to see it firsthand how things just got a lot worse. I mean, my background has been in the federal government contracting space, basically with missile defense, satellite navigation, unmanned aerial systems like electronic warfare, aviation safety and security, all engineering services for like NASA, DHS, the U.S. Army, a lot of work that makes
smart,
our
man.
country number one in the world. And you know, because I know what is good, bad, and ugly in government. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen what corruption looks like, and I've seen what good quality work is. And so that's what I want to take to D.C. so that we're not spending top dollar and getting, trains that are falling apart.
Yeah.
Right. No
the Gateway Tunnel project is a perfect example.
Well, listen, we're trying to get that passed. President Trump wants to get that passed.
President Trump wants to win New Jersey. He only needs 275,000 people that voted Democrat last time to vote Republican this time to win New Jersey.
Let's flip it. Let's flip the state. Hey, just, we came in with Springsteen. Not that he's any better, but because Bon Jovi gave Booker $1 million.
I agree
we don't
with
play
you.
Bon Jovi anymore.
Thank
so
you.
for you,
Never
we
again.
played Springsteen. Is that okay?
100%. Springsteen is great.
Hey, Hirsh Singh, listen, I love you. You're great. You're refreshing. I mean, God almighty. Hirsh Singh for Senate in 2020. He's running in the Republican primary against a guy we had in here, Stuart Meisner, who's not a bad guy either. So you have your hands full.
No, I mean, there are 4 other people in the primary right now. The thing is, 3 of them have all run as independents before. 1 never ran before. So, I'm the only real Republican in this race.
Yeah.
I love them all. It's all good. But you know what? May the best man win. This is America. Anyone can run.
There you have it. Hirsh Singh, again, running against Cory Booker. The primaries in June.